Yo, what's up, everybody? Knowledge coming at you again. Women who sleep with married men. This is some shit that goes on all the time. And I felt like I should speak on it because it's something that it's a video that people don't really do too much. We know it goes on, but a lot of people don't speak on it. And I want to focus on women because guys, when we step out of our relationship or, we might go mess with, a woman that's married, we don't really give a shit. We can go over there, get a nut and come back home and act like nothing happened. But, when women get involved with things and they cheat, it's more of an emotional thing. It's always, it can't just be sex. It's always some type of emotion tied to it, or, that man is giving her something that maybe her dude is not getting, giving her or whatever. So, it's always a different side to it when it's a woman. And it's a lot of women out here, y'all might be listening to this video, that y'all go around and y'all mess with married men. Maybe because you can't find your own man, you want to be married. Or you got women out here that see a man, take care of his business, provide for his family, is a great father to his kids, and they want that. They want to have some type of part of that. So what they'll do is, they'll go around the guy, wear a little short ass skirt, show the ass a little bit, flirt with him. And guys, we so damn stupid, we just, shit, if there's some pussy being offered to us, it's hard for us to turn that down, and a lot of times guys slip up like that. But you got a lot of women out here that think they can pull a man away from his family, or they think that, if I flirt with him, or, I do this with him in the bed, I fuck him the right way, I suck him the right way, do him, like his wife is not doing him, then maybe he'll leave his family, he'll be with me. It's not going to happen. For all y'all out there that's dating, a married man, or you, the little side skeezer or the sideline hoe, and you think that he gonna leave his family for you, it's not gonna happen. No man with common scruples in his head will leave his wife and kid for your ass. I mean, you're a side skeet, and why would somebody want to get with somebody who is okay with messing around with somebody who's already in a relationship? Not only just that, the man's married. Why would he even want to go there with you? You already letting them know that, you a ski scamp, and, you just don't give a damn. You'll go out and you'll try to seduce any man that you feel like can do something for you. And, we see it with the whole little reality show, Love and Hip Hop, the Atlanta joint. And the whole Jocelyn chick, messing around with, what's that little rat face dude, Stevie J. And she knew that, he was married. He's got a daughter or whatever. They was going through some shit, but he was messing around with her on the side. And, you got skeezers like that just don't give a damn. It's like, as long as you can help them out. I know when you really listen to that chick, it's like she messes with him because she feels like he can give her something, whether it's a music career, whether it's money. He took her raggedy ass out the strip club, so it's like she feels some type of false loyalty to this man because he took her out of a situation that she was in, and she probably didn't like what she was doing, but she did it to provide for herself. So it's like, you got women like that who are trying to leech on a certain man or married men because they feel like they can do something for them. And I just wanted to say, no man is gonna leave his family for your ass. So for all y'all skeezer ass women out there that is going around and trying to mess with married men because you can't get your own man, or you want something that that man's wife has, just knock it off. Start conducting yourself with some goddamn sense. Start carrying yourself right. Become a grown woman. Get on your own hustle, and maybe a decent man will approach you, and you can have your own family. But like I said, I'm a firm believer you can't make a hoe into a housewife. You got those type of characteristics about yourself where you'll shit on anybody, you'll break up a happy home. I'm not just gonna blame it on the chick because the guy, he's responsible for that too. But if you would do that to a family, you being a woman and you know how that affects, you know, wives across the world, and it affects the children, and a lot of times divorces happen after that, and then you got two parents who are splitting up, and now the kid is confused and don't know, you know, what the hell is going on. You know, you a wrong person for doing that. You know, if you can't, you know, try to find your own man or whatever, and you want to, you know, interlude into somebody else's joint, that's messed up. And you know, what goes around comes around, because the same thing you doing, you know, when you get married or whatever, if you do get married, it's gonna be some little, you know, chick that's gonna come around, flirt with your man. The same thing might happen. You know, I'm a firm believer in that. What goes around comes around. So, you know, I just want to do this video. You know, y'all let me know if, you know, you married out there and, you know, you slipped up. You know, you had your little side hoe and you had to get rid of her, or maybe she thought it was going to lead to something. It really was just a, you know, a nut every now and then or whatever. Or if you a woman, you know, be honest, say, yeah, you know, I was messing with a married man before and this happened. You know, let me know. Give me y'all feedback. Let me know what you think about these women out here that go and pursue married men. But that's it. I'm out, y'all. Peace.